You gonna help lay that down? Mew? So it's finally done. My girlfriend did an awesome job. She went and painted these cabinets here. They were a poop brown color. And then here's the floors that me and my friend Joe did. We did these floors with the baseboards. Hopefully I can find a video of what it used to look like. And this is the finished product of my stairs. Check it out. Oh yeah, happy holidays guys. My Christmas tree is up. But everything is done. My stairs, my floors, all the house renovations. Had a litmus party. There you go. I am at the Red Rock Casino. Earlier today, I went and ran a Spartan race. We drove down to Laughlin and ran a 4 mile Spartan race. The last race of the year though, for sure. That was just on a whim, so. I was like, you know, afterwards, what should I do? Why not go to a casino that I used to go to all the time? Red Rock holds a dear place to me because I used to live right down the street, and I grew up actually right down the street. You know, I moved up to this area of the city when I was in middle school, and you know, the Red Rock had just opened once I got into high school. And I was one of those kids that used to go to the arcade all the time, so this used to be the hangout spot every single weekend. And then eventually, you know, I turned 21, and there was one point in the beginning of when I started playing poker, there was one point in time where I would go to the Red Rock like 25 to 35 hours a week. And I would go every single day. I would go in the morning, I would go in the middle of the night. And I played and played many hours of poker. Played a lot of 1-2. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go play some 1-2 today. Really wasn't gonna do a vlog, but you know, I wanted to get another casino out of the way and just give me a lot more videos at it, you know? No, but anyways, yeah, we're gonna play some 1-2 no limit. Hopefully we can run it up here. It's a little bit busy, so they're running a whole bunch of promotions. They have like quad floppers and stuff like that. I was looking at it, and while me myself, I'm not a promotion chaser, it's always a plus when you're grinding away and you hit one. Hopefully I can run up a good stack tonight. This is a really good time to come because the big rush of people should be already in the poker room at a table, so let's see how it is and let's get on a table. Also guys, Red Rock is a total rewards card. Grab one of these. Comp should be somewhere, and also the promos. I'll list it. I'll list the current promos that are going on. So I'm gonna run in right now. So if you're staying far away from the strip, this place is a really good place to come play some cards. Usually it's really busy. It probably gets more busy here as a local casino than it does at some of the strip locations. Right now there's 16 different games going on. They spread a whole bunch of, they spread anywhere from 1-2, 2-5, 4-8 Omaha, etc., etc. It's right next to downtown Summerlin, so you can shop around out there. It's a really nice shopping center. The actual Red Rock Mountain, one of the international places to rock climb. So definitely, if you're into that, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend Red Rock enough. If you want to get some comfortable poker action going, come to the Red Rock. This is actually going to be our all-in hand of the session, and this is literally the very first hand that I got dealt into when I first sat down. We got dealt Queen 10 suited under the gun. We are playing 9-handed and we have $200 in front of us. So I go ahead and make a raise to $6. 2 calls ahead of me, and we are 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes ace, king, 5, rainbow. Checks it over to the cutoff who bets $5. I'm not going anywhere. There's a lot of turn cards that can give me a lot of backdoor possibilities. So I make the call, and the under the gun +1 player calls as well. Turn is the beautiful jack of clubs. We make the nuts on the turn. I go ahead and check, and the under the gun +1 player decides to lead for $15. The cutoff tanks just for a little bit and makes a raise to $45. So obviously I'm in a really good position and I'm choosing between raising or just calling. I was looking at the other player's chip stacks and I noticed that the under the gun player who led out actually only has about $60 left. So that's what was sort of turning my way into raising the cutoff's bet. And also I didn't want to just call and then get to a river and then have it go check check since I'm in early position. I go ahead and I decide to raise it to $100, and the under the gun +1 player calls for less, which was about $60. The cutoff doesn't take any time at all before he makes the call as well. So the river is a meaningless deuce of hearts, and I only have $89 in front of me, so I go ahead and go all in for $89. Before I was even able to put the chips out in front of me, the cutoff snap calls. So I flip over queen 10 and we take it down. Not too sure what he's snapping off. Maybe it's a ace jack type hand, or 2 pair, or maybe like a set, but I'm happy to win the very first hand for our all-in hand of the session. This one was a fun one too. We are in the small blind. We have 5-7 offsuit. There are 3 limps ahead of us, and we go ahead and complete the small blind. The big blind checks his option. The flop comes ace, queen, 7 with 2 hearts. Checks it over to under the gun player who bets out $6. The middle position player calls, folds it over to me. It's really hard for me to fold pairs, so I go ahead and make the call. Big blind folds. We are 3 ways to a turn, which comes the 5 of diamonds. So we do bink our second pair on the turn. I go ahead and make a check. The under the gun player checks as well, and this time the middle position player bets out $12. I go ahead and I make a raise to $30. The under the gun player folds, and the middle position player calls. So we go to a river, which comes the jack of hearts. So the front door flush draw comes in, the straight draw comes in. I go ahead and I still lead out for $50 because I feel like that he could have like ace 5 type hands, or ace 7 2 pairs, sometimes queen jack, that could probably be folding this. So I go ahead and I lead out for $50, and sure enough that player folds. So happy to take that one down. Alright. So this is my mid-session update. So far, so good. Actually, when I first sat down, the very first hand that I got, I doubled up. I essentially got into a 3-way all-in. So up for the session. The table is extremely passive. Have a whole bunch of hands I want to talk about, and I'm about 1 hour into the session. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna play a little bit more and see how the table is. Our table was down to 6-handed at one point, and I don't know, but got a good hand with queen 10. Got dealt aces, got dealt kings, was able to stack a few people. So Red Rock is being good to me. So in this hand, we are under the gun. We are playing 6-handed towards the end of the night. Have about $500 in front of me. So I go ahead and make a raise to $8. There are 3 other callers, and we are 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes 5-5-6. The blinds check it over to me, and I make a continuation bet for $18. Folds over to the big blind who makes the call, so we are heads up to a turn. The turn comes the 4 of spades. The big blind checks it over to me, and I decide to go for some pot control here, and my plan was to check the turn and probably call off all rivers. I'm happy to go showdown with this type of board texture, and I feel like jacks are still really strong with these cards out. So I go ahead and make a check. The river comes the 8 of clubs, and this time the big blind leads out for $35. so I don't think too long and I stick to my plan. I make a call and the player actually has pocket kings. So definitely probably could have been losing a lot more if kings decided to 3-bet pre, but we didn't win this one and that's okay. So this one was actually a really interesting hand that I got into at the end of the session. We are still playing 6-handed and we're on the button and we wake up with ace-6 of spades. So there's 2 limpers ahead of me and I go ahead and I make it $10. Big blind calls and everybody else folds. So we are heads up to a flop which comes 7, 8, 9 with 2 spades. Couldn't have asked for a better flop in this situation. So the big blind decides to lead out for $25. And I've seen this player do this a couple of times before. This player doesn't have too much money behind, about $75 behind. So it's a no-brainer. I go ahead and I re-raise to $100, which effectively puts the player all in. The player actually tanks for 3 minutes, starts talking out loud, stood up off the table. It was really fun to watch, but I can tell that this player was struggling, showing her side of the table what she had. And she ends up folding pocket kings face up, and she did have the king of spades, so I was able to get that through with ace high and I got kings to fold. So that was a fun session and I'm happy to book this win for Red Rock. Alright guys, just wrapping up the session. Yeah, I decided to call it quits. I probably played for about, I think, 3 hours. Played for 3 hours, had a lot of fun. Started to die out as soon as I got back after the mid-session update. There was another player at my table that was just chronically tanking. And I can understand chronically tanking if you're playing a big tournament, if you're playing extremely high stakes, but we are playing 1-2 no limit. So my stance on tanking is, if you're gonna take more than 30 seconds per action, if you're facing a standard bet and you're taking 30 seconds to make your action, I mean, what are you thinking? But I personally, I don't agree with that. So I decided to pick up. I'm still in a good mood. That didn't tilt me at all, but it's just like, it's just one of those things that you sit and think about at the table. It's just like, I only bet $10, why are you tanking? But the session went really, really well. The first hour and a half, I was able to stack a couple of people and overall finished positive for the day. I was in for a bullet, so I was in for $200 and I was able to cash out a cool $400 even. So always nice to book a win. Didn't have to be a lot and it was a short session. I have a couple of hands to go over with you guys, but hopefully I'll be able to catch up. Thank you so much for the support, you guys. As always, if you like what you see, subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up if you like the video. Comment below if you want to chat. Follow me on my social media, all that shit. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. There's gonna be a point in time where the casinos that I'm going to isn't gonna be playing no limit, so I'm gonna wander into the tournament realms or the limit hold'em or Omaha or stud or whatever. So we'll see how that goes, and I plan on switching it up a little bit. So as always guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Plus I always do that, huh, at the end. Jesus Christ, people keep bugging me. Wow.